All right, we are in week 9 and things are getting a lot more interesting now. So you'll start to see that we're going to introduce things that are called cruise intervals or tempo sessions, right? And so they aren't supposed to be killer. So right now you'll see, for example, on the bike on Monday, you have some zone 3 cruise intervals. Zone 3 is something that you should be able to do for a couple to 3 hours, right? So when we're asking you to do a couple of minutes at that effort, it should be challenging, but it shouldn't be something that you're so dead at the end of that you're not recovering from or you can't hold consistency. So check yourself. If you find that you aren't able to be consistent across all the intervals, you're definitely pacing yourself too hard. And you also want to reference your zones that the algorithm recommends based on your test week from last week as well. So I really love this part of the training because things start to change. I think you can also change things up. So if you're indoors and you want to make it a little more interesting, sometimes you can do some big gear stuff to challenge it that way. So like replicate going outside and being uphill. If you are outside, you can do some of them uphill. You could do some of them flat because it does feel different. You know, I've been friends with so many mechanical engineers and they tell me, you know, a watt is a watt, but anybody who rides their bike knows that riding uphill feels different than riding flat, even at the same wattage. And that's because the torque is different, right? So how hard it is to have to continuously push and pull the pedals is different. Same thing with being outside. So you'll also notice that those runs and those key bikes that we're doing with the the cruise intervals, and we're letting you do a little bit more intensity, they're shorter. So you're taking a step back in the duration, but remember volume. Most triathletes will always talk about how training is going only based on how long they're training. That's only one component of volume. The other part of volume, in addition to duration, is intensity. So in order to achieve the same or even a little bit more volume, we are backing down the duration a little bit on those workouts, but we're increasing the intensity so it has more effect, right? So keep that in mind. Make sure that you are able to do those workouts. You can still add the zone 1, 2 stuff to the other things, no problem, as long as it doesn't take away your ability to perform at the intensity intervals that we're asking you to do. So again, the day off might be something that you want to stick in between those 2 intense days for right now. That would be totally fine. All right. You could do that. You want to make sure that you're getting the recovery. But again, as long as you are actually doing zone 3, it is something that you should be able to do without killing yourself too much. So I keep redirecting everybody to the portal or the membership area. You have an opportunity to ask if you get stuck. These are another great, place that if you have some of the key workouts that we have just sitting standalone in that area as well, you wanted to switch out to change this plan up a little bit for maybe something a little more specific. So maybe you're going to be getting ready for a race that's in a hilly environment, or, maybe it's a flat environment. You need a little bit more speed on your legs. That's a great question or a great place that we can start swapping things out. But this is a really great plan. And so anybody who's just following it is going to be doing perfect as well too. So see you all next week.